Hi winners, this is Kevin Ward with Yes Masters Real Estate Success Training, helping you get more yeses and more successes in your business and in your life. And I got an email from a brand new coaching member with one of my favorite expired objections on it. And that is, what do you say when you call up an expired and knock on their door and they go, why didn't you sell my house when it was on the market? Now, it's a great question, right? I mean, this is from a seller's perspective, this makes total sense. You're knocking on my door or you're calling me up and telling me you can sell my house, and I had it on the market for 6 months and I never saw or heard of you. So who do you think you are trying to act like you can sell my house today? Why didn't you sell it when it was on the market? Now, that's their perspective. Your perspective is you're going like, who, what? It's not my job, right? Your perspective as an agent is you understand how the real estate industry works, which is simply this. At any given time, there's hundreds, if not thousands of homes on the market in your market area, and it's not likely you're going to sell all of them. But it's kind of like their perspective is that my house is on the market. It's every realtor's job to sell it. And if you sell it, you get paid a commission, right? Because you get the buyer's commission, buyer's agent commission. So you got to understand when sellers give you an objection, where they're coming from and understand it. So now we're going to break this down a little bit. And that is, what is the seller thinking and how do you connect with the seller? Because what you're getting here is their frustration. You're getting resistance. So the key is you got to break through it. Now, here's the best way to answer it. Simply be honest. So let me ask you, why didn't you sell their house when it was on the market? Answer, because you didn't have a buyer for their house, right? Is that not the honest answer? So why not tell them that? However, don't stop there, because the key is how you tell them. Because if you don't tell them the correct way, they look at it and go like, well, see, you don't have buyers. You're not in the business. Then no wonder, why would I list with you? You didn't have a buyer for my house. So you've got to communicate it in a way that keeps them interested, in a way that makes them think, this guy or this gal knows what they're doing. I need to have a conversation with them. So the basic response to that is, you know what, so here's how you'd handle it. Why didn't you sell my house when it was on the market before? That is a great question, and I hear you. Now, the simple reason is, or the short answer, the main reason is simply because your house wasn't a match for any of my buyers that I happened to be working with at the time. Can I explain something else? And they're going to say, well, what? Yeah, well, explain something else. Great. And the main reason is simply because, unfortunately, I was not focused on getting your home sold at that time, because it sounds like you do still really want to sell, correct? And their answer is going to be yes, because if they didn't really want to sell, they wouldn't have said this objection to begin with. So this objection tells you a couple of things. Number one, they probably are really interested in selling, and number two, they are not happy with their previous agent. They're probably looking, because this is not an objection you get if they're happy with their current agent. What this question is basically saying is, please, would you please tell me something that makes you different? Give me some hope that you can get the job done for me. And that's what I just did. Here's how you do it. Let's break this down. So the first thing you said, that is a great question, and I hear you. What are you telling them? I hear your frustration. I understand why you're asking that question. Now, I'm going to give them the straight up answer. And the main reason is simply because your house wasn't a match for any of my buyers that I happened to be working with at the time. Now, what's the implication of that? The implication is, one, it's totally true. It's totally the truth, right? I'm being totally straight up with them. However, the implication is I have buyers. I'm working with folks. I sell houses. Okay? It's just that your house didn't happen to be a fit for any of my buyers that I was working with at that time. However, can I tell you something else? Now, at this point, they're going to always say, well, yeah, tell me something else, because it sounds like they're going like, well, okay, she told me the truth, he told me the truth, and now he's saying, can I tell you something else? It's got to be true. Now, let's just break this, go back, and I want to just show you this. The main thing when I said your house wasn't a match for any of my buyers, I'm telling them something totally straight up. Here's the first mistake that a lot of agents make is they try to BS the sellers at this point. In fact, one of the worst possible things that I've heard sellers, and I've heard this trained, this was a script that I've heard taught, and that is to answer this question is, you know what? Your agent didn't even let me know, didn't even tell me about your house. Can you believe that? I mean, your agent is just sucks so bad they didn't even call me to tell me about your house. Really? Are you kidding me? Look, guys, I don't know where we got all this BS, but it is time to learn that you can get yes without the BS and cut that crap out and be honest with them. But be honest in a way that delivers value and answers what their frustration is. The main reason was your house wasn't a fit for any of my buyers that I happen to be working with. I don't have to give this BS of like, you know what, your agent did not do their job. Your agent's job was to call me, personally contact me, and tell me about your house. Come on, guys. Let's get rid of that crap and let's be honest with them and yet do it in a way that delivers value and lets them know we have help. Okay? Okay, so I do that and I say, and however, can I tell you something else? Well, what else? Now they're like, well, what's the main thing? The main reason is simply because, unfortunately, I wasn't focused on getting your home sold at that time because it sounds like you do still really want to sell, correct? Now, a couple of things. One is I use the word because, and because is a very powerful influence trigger. It tells them there is a legitimate reason why something happened or something didn't happen. And the main reason is because, unfortunately, what are you telling them? It's unfortunate. If I had been focused on getting your home sold, it would have been sold, but I wasn't focused on it. So it sounds like you do still want to sell, correct? Now, what I'm doing now is turning the conversation back away from me and back on what they want, which is, it sounds like, unfortunately, I wasn't focused on your house because, it's unfortunate because it sounds like you do still really want to sell, correct? Yes, great. So here's what you say next. And they say, well, yeah, great. So if you could get your home sold for top dollar in the next 30 days, is that something you'd still be excited about? Obviously, if they're motivated, the answer is, well, yeah, great. And if I could help you make that happen, that would be okay with you, right? Well, yeah, how are you going to do that? You know what? That's a great question. When would be a good time for us to get together and let me lay out for you exactly how I can help you make that happen? I could come out this afternoon at 2:15, or would this evening around 6:15 be better? Now, that's how the script ends up. So I've just given you the full script for how you handle this. Now, here's how you go at the end. Why did I do this? One, notice I set the appointment for today. Why? Because somebody that's asking this question is ready to rock and roll. And you want to get there quick and get the listing, because you can get that listing that day. The other thing that I did is, notice I kept the conversation away from me, because it sounds like you really do still want to sell the house, correct? Great. So let me ask you this. If you could get it sold for top dollar in the next 30 days, is that something you'd still be excited about? Now, notice I did not say if I could get it sold for you in the next 30 days for top dollar. I said if you could. Why? Because I'm asking one question at a time, not two questions. If I say, if I could get it sold for you in the next 30 days for top dollar, is that something you'd be excited about? I'm asking them two questions. I'm asking them, one, do you still want to sell? And number two, do you like me yet? And if the answer to either one of those is no, then you get a no. But if I say, if you could get it done in 30 days for top dollar, is that something you'd be excited about? That's asking one question, and that is, do you still want to sell it? And if their answer obviously is yes, then they're motivated. Great. And if I could help you make that happen, that would be okay with you, right? Now I've got them saying yes to me. Now if you go back and listen to this again, I'm not going to repeat it again because the video gets too long. But if you go back and listen, I've literally got them saying yes to me 3 times in a row before I even say, or I've already got them saying yes to me at least twice. I think at least twice before I ask this final question. And if I could help you make that happen, that would be okay with you, right? Well, what are they going to say? No? Of course they're going to say right. How are you going to do that? And that's when you set the appointment. If you'll use that, it's straight up, it's honest, it's powerful, it adds value, it's very clear to them, and it lets them feel confident that you can get the job done for them. Mastered it. This one will work, and you can do it, and you can get an expired listing today. If you get that objection, be fired up because it's yours.